Once upon a time, in a small fishing village by the vast, endless ocean, there lived an old fisherman named Santiago. His body was weathered by time. His hands were rough and scarred from years of battling the sea, and his eyes, though aged, still held the determined spark of a man who refused to surrender. But Santiago was facing hard times. For 84 days, he had gone out to sea and returned with nothing. No fish, no catch, just empty hands and a boat that rocked quietly with defeat. The other fishermen whispered behind his back, calling him unlucky. Even the young boy Manolan, who had once been his apprentice, was forbidden by his parents to fish with him anymore. Still, Santiago did not complain. He simply tightened his sail, prepared his lines, and rowed out to sea once more, because he knew, deep in his heart, that a true fisherman never gives up. The great battle begins. On the 85th day, Santiago rowed farther than ever before, beyond the shallows, into the deep, open waters where the giants of the sea swam. The sun burned his back, the wind hummed in his ears, and the waves rocked his small boat like a cradle and a challenge all at once. Then, just as the day reached its peak, he felt it, a tug, a pull, something powerful on his fishing line. Not a small fish, not even an ordinary catch. This was something massive, something mighty. Santiago's heart pounded. He gripped the line tightly with his bare hands, feeling the strength of the creature on the other end. And then, with one mighty pull, the great marlin revealed itself. It was a beast of the ocean, larger than his boat, its silver body flashing under the sun, its sword-like bill slicing through the waves. It was the biggest fish Santiago had ever seen, but it would not give in easily. For 2 days and 2 nights, the old man and the great fish battled. Santiago, though old and weak, refused to let go. The marlin, though strong and wild, refused to surrender. Santiago spoke to the fish as if it were a worthy opponent, a brother in the struggle of life. "You are my greatest battle," he whispered, "but I will not let you defeat me." His hands bled, his muscles ached, his body trembled with exhaustion. Yet still, he held on. And then, as the sun rose on the 3rd day, the marlin grew tired. It circled the boat one last time, then lay still on the surface of the water, defeated, but not dishonored. Santiago, with the last of his strength, harpooned the great fish, securing his victory. Tired but triumphant, Santiago tied the marlin to the side of his boat and began his journey home. He was proud, not for the prize, but for the struggle. He had fought, endured, and won with dignity. But the ocean had one last trial for him. As he sailed back, the scent of blood spread through the water. And soon, they came, the sharks. One by one, they attacked, tearing chunks of flesh from the marlin, turning Santiago's hard-earned victory into a desperate fight for what remained. He fought them off with his oars, his fists, his very soul, but there were too many. By the time he reached the shore, only the skeleton of the great fish remained, its massive bones still tied to the boat, proof of the battle that had taken place. Santiago staggered back to his small shack, too exhausted to care what the others would say. The villagers gathered around his boat the next morning, staring in awe at the size of the marlin's remains. They whispered, they marveled, but Santiago did not need their words, because in his heart, he knew. The marlin had been lost, but the fight had been won. He had faced the sea, the struggle, the loss, and he had endured. And in the end, that was what mattered most. This story is about more than just a fisherman and a fish. It is about life itself. Santiago teaches us that true success is not in the prize, but in the fight. Sometimes we battle, we win, we lose, and yet, what truly defines us is our refusal to surrender. Because even when everything is taken away, even when the sharks of life tear at our victories, what remains is who we chose to be in the struggle. And that, above all else, is what makes us truly undefeated. Did this story inspire you? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share to hear more stories that move the soul. Turn on notifications so you never miss a powerful tale.